Shalom, Shalom Babakar, Yasharala, Kal Halalim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakak Badash, double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, other elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the prophets of that body, and Shalom to the 144,000 and one third. May peace and blessings and the spirit of endurance be upon your households as we approach the end and things feel tighter. The pressure is building. Okay? But nevertheless, I've been watching this. Where's that guy's video, man? Nope. There we go. This guy, this channel, Wax Unfiltered. He's got some. He's put some collage of footage together that because I'm doing everything from a UK perspective. Okay, tons of videos are coming about America, basically replicating, or if not, they're all on the same wavelength in terms of bitching and moaning about the world that they live in and that they once grew up in, and that their children can't have what they had. All right, because what they've been saying, they're saying, is the UK dying? Is the UK dying? Well, yeah, of course it's dying. America's dying. Esau's world is dying. Okay. Scriptures coming to mind. Which one is it again? Yeah, that's it. Bring down, I'm going to paraphrase it. Bring down one and bring the other up, King James Version. Yeah, that's it. Psalms, yes, this is the one. Sometimes I've got to paraphrase it just to get it, you know what I mean? Psalms 75, verse 7. But the Most High, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. Right? Now, during the prohibition or not prohibition, during the Great Depression, I believe that was in the 20s and 30s, Esau, our people are suffering still, but Esau was suffering harder, and our people were sort of doing a little bit better compared to the towns nearby or the cities nearby. The so-called Black Wall Streets and Rosewoods, likewise, thousands of towns around America, they're doing quite well, And Esau didn't like it, so Esau, the so-called white man and the powers that be, bombed those towns and destroyed them and built lakes over it. Now the same thing is happening to other parts of America. Have you noticed most of the people that are, facing the backlash or what's happening to them regarding this flood? Jake is getting it too, but for the most part, Esau is suffering. All right, and now we're seeing the demise of this world. Okay, 2 Ezra 6 verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, Psalm 75 and 7, but the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yashai is a judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. Now we're coming to that part where our kingdom is going to be set. Is actually, our kingdom is already prepared. It's just yet to be. How shall I say? It's yet to be. That chapter is about to begin. Yeah, I'll say it that way. It's about to begin very soon, where we're going to have our rulership on this planet Earth and beyond. But first, we have to see the poetic justice of this kingdom falling, and these crackers and heathens, Edomites, and other nations, and 2/3 get what they deserve. I'll put it that way, right? Proverbs 29 and 2. And a lot of these people are bitching and moaning. I'm going to play the video in a second. I'm just going through the scriptures first. Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Okay? Isn't that happening right now? People are following Trump. They were like, oh, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. They're all Trump supporters. Even Latinos for Trump and niggers for Trump and all that shit. Right? Now what? Where's that same energy? When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. You got Keir Starmer being kicked out of British pubs by Edomites, crackers, saying, get out of my pub. I don't want you even having a pint of beer in my pub. I'm talking about severe anger where the pub landlord, the pub owner, had to be pinned down by Keir Starmer's security. I'm sure you see that footage online. Okay, that's how much anger and hatred they have. Okay, all right. That's when 2 Ezra 15 comes to mind also. That's how much hatred they have, okay, for the powers that be. You know, people are suffering financially. Jobs are scarce, and when they do get a job, it's not paying enough. Okay, the salaries are still from like 15, 20 years ago. And with the money getting weaker and the rising costs, inflation, things of that nature, people are not earning enough. All right, and people are trying to uh, get by. You know, the Israelite man, black woman, the Israelite man, the so-called black man, the Hispanic man, Native Indian man, and Jakes that are scattered around to the four corners of the earth have been suffering, have been going through those motions, okay, have had those curses on them, but now those curses pursuant to Deuteronomy 30, verse 7 are slowly but surely coming on you lot, right? Haggai 1 and 6, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. But he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. Once again, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. All right, now let's go to the vid. Where is that lined up? Let's see. So I'm just going to play it now and let it run. By the way, copyright fair use, 1976. I'm not making no money out of this, of course. I'm just emphasizing. Actually, I'm not saying nothing against what's being stated over here. I just brought some scriptures out that bring the situation to more, that bring the situation to light in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, let's go.
But it's all right. I'm going to make it work. On Friday.
Mountain. The cost of the century. The UK has become one of the biggest problems of the century.
I've got £80 in my bank till Friday. And I need petrol. I need some bits for the house. My teenage daughter's requested a couple of items. And
she said she's got about £80 in her bank till Friday, right? Okay, that's what she was saying. £80 was about $100. All right.
Son's birth. Bits for £1 in my bank till Friday. And I need petrol. I need some bits for the house. My teenage daughter's requested a couple of items. And it's my son's birthday this week. He's going to be 22. But it's all right. I'm going to make it work. I've become comfortable with not having much money. I've become comfortable with not being able to afford holidays abroad. I'm comfortable with driving a 22-year-old car. And I'm comfortable that I don't have hot water unless my heating comes on, because it's a really old central heating system and the hot water pump's broke. So it only activates in manual mode when I've got the heating on. And obviously the weather's warmer now, so I'm just waffling about shit. But basically, I'm comfortable with not having much. I've never been a materialistic person. It doesn't matter that I can't go abroad, because the Peak District, which is only like a 20-30 minute drive from me, is stunning. And it brings me so much joy. I love that kind of thing. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay to be skinny. It's okay to not have much. We're not starving. There's food in cupboards. And anything that I gift my son for his birthday, I know that he'll appreciate. I'm going to make him a cake, and he loves my cakes. And get comfortable. Get comfortable with being skint. It does wonders for you.
Skint means that, get comfortable with having nothing. All right, it's a slang word. Skint meaning, your pockets are empty.
Honestly, I'm not going to cry. I'm not. I'm all right. Honestly, I am. I'm not kidding you. I'm comfortable with being skint. It's okay.
You should never be comfortable with being skimmed. I understand it. For your own sanity, you don't want to stress yourself out. You want to keep it together for
psychotic behavior that Edomite woman got, man. That someone's gonna snap very
For the
soon.
sake of the family, it's totally understandable. Myself this summer.
You've worked all your life, you've paid in all your life, and you've forgotten.
Just as you're finally ready.
So I'll kill 1 second. Commercials.
And I just had enough, and I worked it out. Right, I can make. I'm not going to go on no foreign holidays. Them days have gone by anyway, but I could manage, and I'd have a little bit spare just to do what I wanted. But that's all gone now. As daft as it sounds, I'm even washing like my pots, if I do any pots, in cold water. I have a bathe in cold water. Try and limit my showers. I've even I've had to put my fridge freezer in the garage and buy a little tiny fridge and live from day to day. To sit and think about it, to destroy you. It would, honestly.
So how do you get by? What gets you through?
Him, my little dog. Honestly, my little dog gets me through. My family, my son comes round most days. He calls and just to see me. But
just a little side note for you Jakes out there, right? There's elect members out there. Jake's been going through the curses and makes things work. Life throws lemons at Jake. Jake makes lemonade out of it. Right? We've been persevering. Now, for any of you Jakes out there that are going through sort of situations where you're making ends meet, but you're all right. But if you can move in together, like if you're you got a brother and he's got he's got no family or whatever, no wife and children. He's living in his own spot. You're living in your own spot. If you live in the same city and you can make it work, hey man, move in with your brother. If you've got a family, your parents and all that, they're older, you can take care of them, but they've got space in the house. Move back home. Move back home. Save your money. Go move back home, contribute towards the bills. Make it work that way. That's what a lot of Jake foreigners do, man.
him mainly because I can get outside with him. And once it gets winter time, I'm worried again, we're going to be in.
This is Stephen Johnson, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. He's retired, someone that had worked extremely hard his whole entire life. Pension scheme here alone in the UK is an absolute disgrace. But Stephen, he felt confident. He felt he had enough to see him through after his retirement. He was wrong. With the cost of living rising, ladies and gentlemen, Stephen has been struggling to pay his bills.
I just don't know. My daughter will say, don't worry, you shouldn't worry at your age. You shouldn't have to worry at your age. But you can't help it. Especially when you've never been in debt all your life. Never, ever.
Exactly.
And if
Edom might never been in debt all his life. That's a good record, isn't it? For 70 years, he's never had the debt. Always had everything perfect.
Early days,
Esau losing his blessings.
Mortgage and loans, etc. But paid off straight away and never in debt. And any debt that came, if you wanted anything, paid off straight away. Early days, mortgage and loans, etc. But paid off straight away and never in debt. And any debt that came, if you wanted anything, paid off, buy it on a credit card for security, pay it off. Now the credit card just builds up and builds up.
More and more young adults are having to live with their parents because they can't afford to rent or buy a place in the UK. And this isn't just confined to London. More and more big cities in the UK are becoming more and more expensive for young people as well. And a lot of times this can be seen as a benefit because it allows young people to save whilst they're living at home so they can build up their cash reserves and buy a property or rent a property. But I see this number getting bigger and bigger as the cost of living and the cost of housing soars through the roof. It's not uncommon nowadays to hear people in their late 30s or even 40s living at home because of the cost of living. And a lot of times this can be seen as a benefit because it allows young people to save whilst they're living at home so they can build up their cash reserves and buy a property or rent a property. But I see this number getting bigger and bigger as the cost of living and the cost of housing soars through the roof. It's not uncommon nowadays to hear people in their late 30s or even 40s living at home because of the cost of living. But in this young population, what it does is it has a detrimental effect on the creation of families. 20 years ago, people were buying properties in their 20s, they were having kids in their 20s, they were getting married in their 20s. What a lot of people don't talk about is that living at home changes your life dynamics. A lot of people living at home can't bring a child into that home environment. And it's easier to meet someone when you have your own place. So what that does is it pushes back the marriage age, it pushes back the age at which people are having kids. And I know not everyone wants to have children, but the dynamic of the UK and the cities and the towns is changing due to this phenomenon. I personally think it's only going to get worse as the cost of living increases and more people are priced out of buying a property or renting a property. And unless rent caps are brought in, then it's going to become dystopia.
Absolutely bang on the money with that one, ladies and gentlemen. It is a massive problem. And at this moment in time, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see no light at the end of the tunnel. That tunnel is dark.
People should buy less Costa coffees and go on less holidays and not go out for dinner so often, and then they'll be able to pay the electricity bill, which, you know, I said it tongue-in-cheek a little bit, but to be fair, that is probably partly true. I mean, the ones who are really struggling aren't doing any of those.
I was going to say, let's just pause that there.
And a politician answer: buy less coffee, buy less those lattes and hot chocolate early in the morning when you're going to work. Go on less holidays. That's the answer. Anyway.
£1,400 a month to live on. Sounds all right, yeah? Well, let's see where that money actually goes. By ONS and .gov UK statistics, monthly bills for an average household rent or mortgage are £1,341 for renters outside London, way more expensive inside London, and a mortgage at £1,056 for a typical home loan. Council tax £180 going up. Electricity and gas, £117, going up. Water bills, £44, going up. Groceries, £310, and that's before you even add a bottle of wine. Fuel, £79, probably going up.
Yeah.
Clothing, soap, toothpaste, etc., £77. So what's left? If you rent, you are left with £252 a month at the end of the month. If you own a home, you have £537 left. And that's all before you even think about insurance, phone bills, internet, childcare, savings, emergencies, or any modicum of a social life. And this is for someone on an average salary. What about those on minimum wage, which has recently gone up to £12.12, or is going to go up in April to £12.12? That means a full-time...
I don't even know who would be accepted.
Minimum wage, £12.12. I don't know what that is, $15 or whatever. Anyway. Let's go to UK inflation.
Is unexpectedly to go up 3.6%, driven by food and fuel prices. What do you mean unexpectedly? You're putting stuff up every month, and it has to be food and
Moving with her voice.
Moved. I think I need Starbucks to calm me down.
This is why I spend £2,000 a month on groceries. So I had comments in my last video of my fridge restock. Some good, some not so good. For example, how the F do you spend that much? Is it for a live-in chef? That's half your problem. If kids are hungry, they will eat whatever. So to answer the first comment, wow, live-in chef, that's me, but I work for free. Sometimes I cook 3 different meals of an evening. So yes, I am a chef considering the amount of meals I bosh out in one go. The next one was in response to the fact that my children will only eat branded food. I don't know why, but all 5 are just like that. They only have to sniff a Cuthbert the caterpillar to know it is not a Colin, and they just refuse. So I shop at M&S. There isn't much price difference compared to Tesco, but the quality is
my favourites, Cadbury.
So much better. Honestly, give it a go.
What is with the internet? Why is it anytime there's some ounce of sun, the internet goes all Willy Wonka? I don't understand. I pay too much, yeah? Too much. It's 2025. Why am I having wonky internet? And it shouldn't matter about who's with who. The fact you're paying for a service and you don't get service, I don't understand what is with the heat and me not getting service.
That's good, isn't it? The Willy Wonka internet, and this is crazy.
It should be bulletproof for the amount I'm paying. I don't understand what's going on. Every minute. Fucking hell. Oh. These people need to get a grip, honestly. want to be demanding money, price hike for shit service, and we can't even get it. It should be so bulletproof. Your internet should be Yeah, Google should know what I want to type before I type it. I should be on a page.
Jake is moaning and starting to be a comedian at the same time.
And you should know what I want to type before I even type it. That's how sharp the internet needs to be.
Before I even open my eyes blink once. Every time I have to wait, I was in the shop. Couldn't even show him the video about the buzzballs that I was talking about, yeah? And then...
The UK right now, it's just the whole atmosphere of the place, the energy, dark cloud hovering over.
Let's keep it stepping.
It feels to me, and to many people, that there's just this big dark cloud hovering over the UK right now. It's just the whole atmosphere of the place, the energy. Just something's off. Unless you've got a bit of money behind you, or a really well-paid job, or you work all the hours under the sun, can you really afford a house? It's just one of these dreams that I think have just gradually gone over the years. It's not just housing, it's just the whole, like I mentioned before, it's the whole energy of the place. It's since the 90s, it feels like it's slowly getting drained out of this country.
Everybody talks about the 90s, don't they? They missed those 90s, boy.
Slowly at first, but it's ramping up now, and it feels like there's a bit of a snowball effect where just everywhere you turn, people are unhappy, people are suffering, people are just surviving. And the mental health at the moment is just through the roof with everyone. Men, women, black, white, doesn't matter. Everyone seems to have an issue with their mental health at the moment. They're on antidepressants, or like I've done in the past, suppress it with alcohol.
Damn, man. Commercials and shit. That was a good one too. He's saying it, man. He's saying the dark cloud. Yeah, there's a dark cloud over Esau's kingdom, man. For this.
Drugs, suppress it with alcohol or drugs, or just anything to take your mind off what's really going on, what's going on inside of you, what's going on in your head. The NHS must be bombarded with it because the waiting lists, not just for mental health.
NHS is a National Health Service, okay, which is supposedly a free health service, you know, for pretty much every individual can use, you know, especially your so-called working class.
Other things, it's just months and months if you're lucky, I suppose. Some are even years. I know violence has always existed, but these days it seems to be spiraling out of control, and it seems to be younger people getting involved in it. I know there was violence in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, all the way up till today, but it just seems the people are getting younger and they're becoming seemingly more violent. I'm hoping for the best. I always try and remain positive and hope for better days ahead. It's just hard to see that at this moment in time. People don't want to talk anymore.
Yeah, that's how
a lot of people are rude.
People don't talk no more. People, you know, even I was watching a little interview, I think, of Trick Daddy. Is it Trick Daddy, the one from Miami? He goes, people aren't in love anymore. You know, where are the couples at? You know, what's going on? People don't give a shit no more, man. You know,
people don't care about the countryside. They just dump their rubbish wherever they want. It's like people have just given up caring about anything. People just seem to be carrying a lot of anger around with them, a lot of mental strain. It's like with technology these days, we're more connected in some ways than ever. But we're more distant. There's no community feel anymore. The shop's boarded up.
It's so crazy.
Or
that he
replaced.
says that, isn't it? It's so crazy that he says that. Like, social media is at our fingertips now, but we're more distant than we've ever been.
Gambling shops to feed the gambling addiction. Fast food places to feed the sugar addiction. Vape shops to satisfy that addiction. Pubs to satisfy the alcohol addiction.
There's no pubs anymore.
I remember growing up, it used to just be full of shops. Woolworths gone. WH Smith's, I don't know if they're still around, but all these little local shops, local sports shops, local book shops, they all seem to have gone now. And it's all big commercial corporate chains, and it's sucked the soul out of towns and cities, I believe. Medicating ourselves through it with
No malls.
addictions and antidepressants, and you can't blame people for that. Like I say, I've done it. I've drunk, I've gambled, I've had addictions, just to feel normal, just to numb it all, I suppose. And while all this suffering's going on, prices of everything's just going up. Food, utilities, it's becoming harder and harder just to stay afloat. It's just a matter of survival for a lot of people now. You just work and sleep and eat, work, sleep, eat. And it's just soul destroying, it's draining. I try and stay positive where I can, and some days.
Does your loft?
So it's not long. Let's hear what this the last guy's got to say. Then that should be it. Just a perfect, excellent depiction of the sign of the times.
And others.
Esau's kingdom's out.
But you do have to try and cling to that little bit of hope you have. I got so drained, so tired in the monotonous 9-to-5 rat race job. I don't want to get sucked back into the 9-to-5 rat race world. Try my best not to, because so many of us have been trapped by that. And you just work and sleep and eat, work, sleep, eat. You can't keep having to work this hard just to remain with a head just above water, barely. It affects all parts of your life. If that job is draining you, you come home tired, you come home snappy, you just want to numb yourself with a beer or something else. And I've been there, and it's not nice. But so many people are going through that right now. And I feel for them.
Right,
because it's not what life's about. Life's for living.
At the same time, these are people that have families, and that job is struggling to keep the lights on for their family. Make it make sense.
Living, not just to work, just to keep a roof over your head. And are we lucky in this country that we've got roofs over the head? I know there's many millions, billions of people in the world that are worse off than us. So I'm not saying the UK is any worse than any other place. I'm just giving my perspective on what it feels like at the moment in this country. And it just feels like it's dying. The whole country is slowly dying.
Right, let me give my perspective as well in real time. You go to Edomite areas, they're dead towns. Shops are boarded up. Now you go to any kind of area that's brown, especially in Israelite foreigner area. Okay, what Israelite foreigners are doing, and other nations, Elam and all that, they're coming in, taking over shops and stores and starting up their own business. So those shops and stores, they're not the same as it was, say, 35, 40 years ago, but those towns are still kind of thriving. Things are still going on. Commerce is still taking place. Really, from my perspective, from the area that I reside in, it's mainly Edomites that are suffering. Okay? Jake, for the most part, all right? I see Nigerian Jakes, West Indian Jakes, okay? Israelite foreigners. Man, they, sun's out, they're wearing their blowy shirts, with the palm trees on it and shit, and they're walking around with their knee-length shorts on and their flip-flops, their sliders. They're talking on the phone back home to their families in Nigeria, Ghana, West Indies, or whatever. And they're in good spirits, man. It's these Edomites. They're the ones with their heads down and pissed off and, going through what they're going through. So, yeah, man. These curses, man, they're coming on the heathen. But don't get it twisted. Our people are still suffering too. But collectively, our people are doing better,
Government, the government are useless. They lie. They deceive us. They speak at us. They don't speak for us. Just put vent in the comments, and it helps the algorithm. You don't have to think too much about writing a comment if you want to, and it helps everything. It helps, like I say, it helps the algorithm. It helps the video get pushed.
So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. So Haggai 1 and 6 again. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages, earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. Okay, all praise to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Okay, when all hell breaks loose, everyone is gonna get it. All right, when Jacob's trouble kicks off, right, and the other things that are there in the Lord's timeline, the Charagma, World War III, all these other things. Everyone's going to get it, but the elect are going to be safe. All right? But these Edomites, man, as you can see, okay, all of the people that were in the collage of videos, may I use the term collage, right? All of them are Edomites from the outside looking in. All right? And the only person that was a Jake, he was a Jake. He was complaining about internet. He was complaining about the internet. So, man, Esau is getting it, man. And all praise to Yahweh Shai for that. This country that once, ruled the whole world, man. Went everywhere, called it shots, stole everything, murdered everybody, enslaved everybody. Now look at the state of this country, man. Go to every Edomite town, man. Seaside towns, beach towns, or whatever. Man, every cracker is on dope. They're looking like hobos and shit, The shops and boarded up. They've got houses boarded up. And you know what the government or the councils are doing? They're painting up doors and windows and fake flowers on top of these derelict homes and buildings to make it look lively. All right? This place is out, man. Okay? All praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakak Shalom.